Hello, good day, everybody, and welcome to the DVAS table. I am Rebecca.
And I'm Laura. So we're here today to have a little discussion and give you some updates in regards to COVID. So Rebecca, would you like to start and share?
Absolutely. So if you do want to know more about the current state of the coronavirus, please look at the website, healthvermont.gov. It has a wealth of information. Plus, it's always talking about the current vaccination rounds. Right now, it's 70 plus, and on Monday, anyone who is 65 and older can get the vaccine. So there are different phases for the vaccine rollout. Let me show that to you. It's pretty great. So again, you can look at all the different charts, the stats, check on vaccines, etc. For those of you who do want to get a vaccine, please go to the website and register and then make an appointment. No one is going to be calling or emailing you. You actually have to take that step yourself to book an appointment and then go to whichever location is closest to you. Again, healthvermont.gov will have all the information.
And also I wanted to add, when you register, it's important that you can request an interpreter, mention that you're deaf, so that the facility can have that information ready for you when you arrive. And that will be helpful.
Great point, Laura. Yes, so that's the current status for COVID right now in Vermont, keeping it short and sweet. So we've got some great information for you today, just some general information nationwide. Wanted to talk about our current President Biden and our Vice President Kamala Harris. So just some fun facts for you all to get to know them a little bit better. Really fascinating history for them both. So we're going to start off first with President Biden and some facts for you. Laura, do you want to go through those?
Sure. President Biden has some interesting history. He actually used to be a football player and quite a star back in Delaware at a place called Archmere Academy. When he was growing up, he was often bullied because he had a stutter. So he taught himself to overcome that, just to get over that speech impediment. And that way he can talk much more clearly now. In 2020, it was his third attempt or his third run at trying to become president and was finally successful. And another interesting fact is that he loves ice cream. Oh my goodness. And chocolate chip seems to be his favorite.
And this is Rebecca. So I wonder if he's ever gone to Ben & Jerry's or had Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and if he has a very specific type of flavor he likes then, because Ben & Jerry's has so many varieties, I wonder if he'd still stick with the chocolate chip.
Yeah, I wonder the same thing, because Ben & Jerry's is amazing. I love their ice cream. Another fun fact is that he has the first, his dog Major is the first rescue dog that's living at the White House now. And he also received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the country's highest civilian honor. So he received that a while ago during Obama's administration. And I think next we're going to talk about the Vice President, Kamala Harris. Rebecca, go right ahead.
All right, so Kamala's first name, it actually means lotus flower. And so her mother gave her that name, and is in honor of the Hindu goddess Lakshmi. And that represents the empowerment of women. Another thing to notice that I just learned from a group of deaf women that are Black as well as Indian, they decided to come up with a sign name that is specifically in honor of her, and it looks like this. Because she is the first Black, Indian, and female vice president. So this is her sign name in honor of all that she is. So quite the prestigious position. Another fun fact, her stepchildren don't call her mom, they call her Mamala, which is a combination of mom and Kamala. So Mamala is her nickname from her stepkids, which is really sweet. So she had been residing in California, and she was the first Black woman district attorney. And then she was the first woman of color to be elected as attorney general in California. Phenomenal background. She has done so much in her time. When she was attorney general, she became friends with the Delaware attorney general, who was Beau Biden. And so they had a real connection, became friends. So really, Biden and Harris have already been connected prior to this current administration. They've known each other for years. Her motto from her mom was always saying, "You may be the first, but make sure that you are certainly not the last." And I really like that quote, because if you make something happen and you are that first person to do it, just know that you don't have to be the last. You can inspire others to be the next in line in your footsteps. And I really appreciate that. It's never a one and done. Think about the next generation, be perseverant, and really get people to be the next in line.
Yeah, it's great to be the first at something, but your work needs to continue. And you deserve to be where you are. And I think that's pretty amazing what she's done
Yeah.
with her life.
Absolutely. Dream big and follow your aspirations. Go for it. Don't let anything stop you. It never hurts to try. You never know what's going to come your way. Work hard, have those aspirations, and aim high for what you want.
And don't be afraid to be yourself. Just go for it.
So, interesting fact that I looked up, connected to Vermont and the current administration. So, obviously, we have the president, Biden. If for some reason he is no longer president, it goes to Kamala Harris. She would take over. And then next in line, third in line, is actually Patrick Leahy, who is the current senator of Vermont. So he is third in line for the presidency should anything happen to the previous two. I'm like, hey, way to go, Vermont. So it's nice to have us in the mix. I think it's a really great honor for Vermont.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So I have to ask, what do you think about the Bernie memes? It has gone viral. And this is our sign for Bernie, for those of you that don't know. So Bernie Sanders, that meme of him during the inauguration, what do you think? And do you know why that even came into existence?
I do. Actually, as you mentioned, it did go viral. There was one photographer who decided to snap a picture of Bernie, who was seated at that time during the inauguration. And so he just caught Bernie out of the corner of his eye. He had to take a lot of photos that day, but for some reason, Bernie caught his attention. And, he was a little bit different than the other people. He had his Vermonter's winter coat on, he had some warm pants on, he doesn't wear fancy shoes, and he had these fantastic mittens. His goal was to keep warm, as a Vermonter does, and he had his mask on. And if you look at some of the other attendees, they had all this formal wear on, and followed the latest fashions, a little higher level fashion. But Bernie was like, nope, I'm just going to be myself. And the importance thing that day is to stay warm and take care of myself. So that's why he was bundled up. And that caught the photographer's attention and became viral. And if you notice, one popular part of his outfit was his mittens, and they were handmade by a teacher in Vermont. Up north. And so she had made them and given them to Bernie. And they were made out of a sweater. They're just a special way that she gave back to him, and he honored the teacher in that. So it was a really cool viral thing, not something you would expect as a normal photo at an inauguration. And we know what it's like to get warm here in Vermont, and those other people just dressed more for style as opposed to comfort and warmth.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. It's so Vermont, that picture. It's like quintessential, showing how we are in it for function over fashion, like stay warm, supporting local. Like those mittens were handmade by a woman from Vermont. Such a great way to keep things local. I believe the jacket is from Burton, another Vermont company. So really great to see the Vermont connection. And honestly, I was just so psyched to see him representing us so well. And there's so many memes that have gone out since that day. I'm going to show you a few of them.
Oh yeah, there's a picture that was taken in front of my parents' store, right in front of the storefront there in Brattleboro, Vermont. One of our coworkers actually who works there designed and photoshopped this meme right into it. So check it out. It's pretty cool.
So you've probably also seen on the news and everywhere, there's like a collage of the Bernie meme. So let me show you that just to see just how viral it went. So amazing to see this because yes, I mean, Bernie is Bernie, but he also really puts Vermont on the map. He has since actually done fundraising. I believe he has donated that to Vermont Meals on Wheels, and it's $1.8 billion, again, to Vermont Meals on Wheels, as well as other charities. And so Bernie Sanders, he said, well, the money is going to go to organizations in the state of Vermont that specifically serve senior citizens. And that is the Meals on Wheels program and some senior centers as well. It's going to go to organizations that are serving low-income people in terms of rental assistance and getting food to people who need it. And those are our community action centers. And it's also going to go to, I think, try to improve the dental care in the state of Vermont for lower income people. So again, while the spotlight was on him in this picture, he has used that and turned it into a betterment of Vermont.
It's true. He always gives back to the community, and that's what makes him such a great guy. He has a great heart and just always wants to give back.
Oh, so true. Really nice to see that. So just wanted to put that out there for you. If you want to really be proud of Vermont, you have even more of a reason to be that way now. As you know, this month is Black History Month. And I really want to emphasize, people have said time and time again, people of color in particular, like, why is this celebrated only the month of February? Why are you truncating it to 1 month? Why is it not Black History Month every day? And I agree with that. So what I'm going to do for these sessions is put out facts and tidbits about Black history ongoing. So when you see another DVAS table, we'll give you some more history so we can keep the conversation and the history at the forefront of our minds. And it could be about Vermont Black history. It could be about Black deaf history. So again, I really believe in encouraging people to know more and find more and learn more. So I found some interesting facts specifically tied to Vermont with Black History Month. Laura, do you want to talk about this or shall I?
Sure, I'm happy to share. Let me just pull it up really quick. So, sure. So, one interesting fact is Vermont was the first state to prohibit slavery. And if you want to know more about Black history, there are a lot of places in Vermont to go visit. There's a Vermont African American Heritage Trail. There's different museums. There's different cultural sites that focus specifically on different people and culture and personalities that are involved with Black history. Alexander Twilight Hall went to Middlebury College. Excuse me. Oh no.
So give us 1 second. We just need to do a quick little catch up for the interpretation. Please hold. So before we get to that, let me see if we're ready. Would you mind going back to the museum and trails and then do Andrew Harris? That would be great.
Sure, let me go back to that. So Andrew Twilight Hall, who was an African American, graduated at the University of Vermont. And he was a big advocate of Black equity and equality. And also, you all may know Nick Lillane. He's actually the first Black deaf male who works full-time at the University of Vermont. So we're pretty excited about that, the first Black deaf male that's doing that. So there's a lot of different people involved with Black history in Vermont, and those are just a few.
Great, thank you, Laura. Yeah, so this is Nick's sign name. So as you mentioned, first Black deaf person to teach American Sign Language and be a professor in that realm at UVM. I don't know if it's also New England wide or specific to Vermont. I'd have to do some stat research on that. But it's amazing because you can see like a deaf person who moved to Vermont, who made it and has really worked up the ranks. So I will look for more details to see if there are other deaf Black individuals out there or not. So keep your eyes on our next table. And if anybody watching knows of a fun fact, please share it. You can, put it in our comments at the bottom and let us know. If there's any did you know fun facts, send it our way. We're happy to include it next time. And it can be about President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris. It could be about Black History Month. It could be about COVID. So please, if you have information that we didn't share, send it our way. We're happy to share that for you. Also, if you have any specific topics that you would like us to cover in the future, send that our way as well. We're happy to look into any topics for you and share the news when we find it. So the goal of the DVAS table is to have us come together, have these conversations, and share information. And of course, it's always nice to have some specific details connected to Vermont, but we will share some nationwide stats. And as you know,
is important.
Exactly. Our deaf community is so small in Vermont, so we want to keep this connection.
And we just want to be able to support all of you and share some positive things about Vermont and our deaf community that's here, because we all care about you. It's really important.
Absolutely. So I think that probably wraps us up for today. Again, please be in touch. I want to thank our interpreters, Karen Todd and Elizabeth Fox, for providing spoken English interpretation today.
No, I don't really have anything to add, but please share your feedback, share your thoughts. We are totally ready to hear whatever you want to say, and we'll focus on improving this chat that we have with you from time to time. So I'm really looking forward to sharing more with you. And hopefully you're enjoying these little table talks that we have.
Wonderful. So thank you all for watching. Take good care.
Bye-bye now.